Okay, thanks for waiting. First of all, I will ask you if do you hear me well. Sorry but YouTube very often because this is streaming has always some delay. So I always want to be on time, but it's not always working, even with my best intentions. So do you hear me well? I think you can hear me well. Great, thank you for checkup. So welcome everybody in this very, I think, important session, live session, all the way from Leiden, Netherlands. So for those which will be joining, I think important part of this live event that you can ask me questions, and I think that's something which I'm really looking forward about the topics which I'm going to talk. Very different topics, but related to creating actually brighter future for PhD students and postdocs globally, so worldwide, in life sciences. And myself, I did PhD in stem cells. For those which first time actually are joining my session, about perspectives on life sciences opportunities for PhD students and postdocs, and also especially the ones which also think about making transition from academia to industry. That's also something which I already I think covered in my previous sessions. They are recorded, so you can listen to them. And please do not also forget to give thumb up and also subscribe, so that this also channel can grow. And also with growing of this channel, there are also opportunities which can grow, especially for PhD students and postdocs in life sciences. So myself, I'm PhD. I'm also PhD. I followed for postdocs, and now I have a startup, bio-inspired think tank. And the startup actually, I grew also as a coach. So I'm doing a lot of coaching for team building, but also agile project management and collaborations between universities and companies to develop scientific projects in my field, which I specialize so in stem cells and tissue engineering, or regenerative medicine and tissue engineering. So important today. I have quite few topics, but I also like to be inspired by my colleagues from LinkedIn network, and I'm very grateful to Matteo Tardelli. This is a PhD which already works in industry, but I'd like to comment that he gave actually very, I think, great contribution, especially if it comes to academia, especially in the book Beyond Academia After Your PhD. How to Make a Leap to Industry with Matteo Tardelli. And he describes, what is important in this transition. And I think leap is a really good word, because it's very difficult transition overall. Having academic background per se not necessarily is sufficient to be hired by industry. However, industry needs PhD scientists or PhD students, and it's good that there's already recognition of performing PhD studies at industrial, industrial, I would say even institutes, because Roche also is one of them, but also in industry, in companies, biotech companies. So that's important movement. So coming back to Matteo in his book Beyond Academia, and what I'd like to a little bit comment about, and I think Matteo, I think already it was advertising book After Your PhD, but also his PhD, of course, himself followed postdocs and then became consultant. And I think that's one of the careers we can think about PhDs, right? you could also see in my posts, I always come back to post of Helen, which showed uh, information or infographics shared by Unbiased Science podcast about being a scientist is a career and scientists are needed in every field. And I just wanted to remind it that, of course, this in this field we consider academia, industry, law, government, healthcare, criminal justice, policy, and journalism. So importantly, which I always talk as a mantra based on this infographics, that without scientists represented in all of these fields, science would not be able to analyze data, inform decisions, and drive progress forward. And I think we have to consider ourselves, PhD students and postdocs, as workforce, one of the workforce, which is uh, development of science, but also innovative solutions, right? So that's something is very important to realize what is our power, what is our potential, also what this means for industry. But we have to make sure to, when we talk to industry, especially business investors or business developers, that we can use our academic skills, especially data analysis, but also methodology, to develop better methodology, which then can serve patients, right? I think that's important, that in industry science results in a product or in device which can help patient, which can help to tackle global health problems. And I think this type of translational science, so science which is useful, industry is also expecting from PhDs to be developed. So very much more focused science. So knowing that, I think that already gave you good basic information about me, about some introduction about some possibilities and career perspectives for PhD students and PhDs. And now I'd like to, I mentioned to you already about Matteo and his book, but he also brought very interesting posts regarding the percentages. I think it's good to keep repeating this type of information because numbers can give us very good estimation of situation which is currently happening at universities globally, meaning increasing percentages of PhD students worldwide, meaning more PhDs, but universities which don't take action to make transition of PhDs to industry, or they don't really per se take care by offering personal effective transition and development into industrial scientists. So I think that's what very much we are missing. And also university doesn't accept, I think PIs doesn't offer any more permanent positions for postdocs. So after 2 years, you probably have to go and you have to find your way very often yourself. So that's very tough, and I think that's something which I really I am here for advocating to make this transition better for postdocs and PhD students, so that we can really have successful and importantly brighter possibilities, so wider, more opportunities for postdocs or PhD students which decided to move to academia, because move from academia to industry, which offers them much more stable conditions, including permanent contract possibilities and so on. So coming to Matteo, I'd like to bring something important from his post, which I told you about the numbers. And let me just draw a sort of scheme. So thank you, Matteo Tardelli, for actually bringing this scheme on and publishing it on LinkedIn. I hope you can see it well. I think for the reasons here, I will just see if this can work. Yes. So Matteo brought such graph where we have early career researcher, let's put it that way. Here we have somewhere permanent research staff and professor. And I think this, if you would like to ask, that starts already from assistant professorship or tenure track. I think tenure track, maybe that is already within assistant professorship. So what he showed that if we think about this about this graph, he brought at early career stage percentages of PhDs which are leaving academia. So these are usually PhDs, 53%. Is actually moving towards careers outside science. Outside science. That's actually quite a worrying percentage. Half already is moving out of science. And this is where you consider university, which is investing in education of PhD students. Then we have another movement that's more between already PhDs and probably postdocs. Here we have 17%. This is non-university research, which I think, yes, I would say can be described as an industry government. Then we have permanent research staff. I think here the percentage is 3.5, and professor, so from all PhDs, only 0.45%, so rounded up 0.5% will become professors from all PhDs. And the ones which cannot make at some point permanent position, they will go to this pool, which is leaving academia and leaving also science. So this part is 26.5. If you want to know more about these percentages, I think that's when I read other reports, this is more or less covered by all the other reports, that percentage of PhDs who will become professors is very minor. So what happens with 99.5% of PhDs is very important to always keep it in mind. That's actually showing quite striking results and quite poor recognition of a problem by universities. And especially when they increase numbers of PhD students, but they don't increase any type of opportunities regarding increasing permanent staff, for example, places for postdocs, so that more permanent staff can stay. So there is no basically such as you can think, such drastic percentage of temporary employees, which actually with their trained, I would say, staff are simply leaving or have to leave university because there are no potential or other potential options for them. So in my startup, in my vision, I would like to actually take care of this human capital and hire it in startups. But for this, I need interaction between the university and other public or private parties, so that we can create PhD startups and we can greatly apply all the potential which is within, you think about methodology, knowledge, especially knowledge, which otherwise would be lost because majority of these people move to careers outside science. So that's something which is my long-term mission. Talk to many investors. I talk to many private parties, private potential parties, also in politics. I joined politics also for this reason, to think about potential policies or programs which can help this outflow from universities to actually bring this inflow to startups, including my startup. But that requires legislation, that requires change of the mindset, especially from academic perspective, and think about also certain infrastructure reorganization also of universities. If we think about startups as organizations which are important to collaborate with universities and established companies in private sector. So that's something which I'd like to bring, and I'm going to always talk about this because that's something which motivates me very much to advocate and do something in stepwise manner for increasing opportunities for PhD students and postdocs, including also development of my startup, my team, which is composing of PhDs or PhD students, and growing this team in the future. And of course, as I told you, important is that, okay, we have this scheme, but what we could do, because I also was and one of my postdocs in Nijmegen in postdoc committee, and we were also taking our own initiative. So what we can do actually, how we can take our own initiative. But of course, this is important that such postdocs organizations are existing at more or less each university. But I would like to ask these postdocs organizations to more and more take initiative and even meet industry, create such potential possibilities where speed dating or some info webinars. In Leiden, we have also TED Talk, which is meetings where both scientists from Leiden University Medical Center are presenting their research, and they search for collaborations with academia, with industry, or with industry or startups from Leiden Bioscience Park. So that's what I can say and share from perspective of Leiden, where Leiden Bioscience Park, where I am based. But also, if I look, and I really love LinkedIn, because LinkedIn, my network connections I have, I'm really grateful to. I could not even mention all of them, all the people which contribute to this knowledge, which I'm now sharing and synthesizing in some important maybe steps and next ideas, how to make this future brighter and how to increase the opportunities for PhDs and PhD students. But definitely I was very, very inspired by action of postdocs, which contributed, I think, to the decision of university in Pennsylvania, which actually announced this year, exactly 11 of, I think this happened in April, yes, that as of July 1st, so in few actually days, the entry-level postdoc minimum salary will be $65,000, marking a 21% increase. That, of course, per year basis. We're talking here. So that is really important that this entry-level postdoc minimum has been increased, and it's even higher than approximately it's above in minimum pay scale for year 2023 than from National Institute of Health. So I was really happy to see that, actually to read about this, and that was really initiative by engaging with postdocs. These decisions were actually made by engaging with postdocs, faculties, school leadership and benefit experts, as well as peer institutions, to develop a program that recognizes the essential role of postdocs play in Penn's research ecosystem, so University of Pennsylvania. And that's something which I very much admire, and I'm very much happy that this really happened. And this has been widely also announced in media, and I hope that this step made by University of Pennsylvania to increase postdoc salary, to push for greater benefits, because there are also not just salary, but also benefits, which are new options which replace the medical, dental, and vision insurance that are currently offered to postdocs. And we know how actually poor and basic they were before. So there's more in this package for postdocs. So I'm really happy about that. And this happened also at the University of Pennsylvania, as I said again. And I will put this here in the comments below, so you can see it. I would like to put this information below so you can see it and you can take a look and you can read it more in detail, because of course, because of a time, I also have to keep it in mind that the time should not exceed more than 50 minutes. But I think all this information can be very useful, and you can read it, and you can actually, this can be maybe your reference. You can think, okay, we have postdoc committee in European university, and we can also use this article as a reference, right? That this is possible, and talk to maybe Rector Magnificus, to all different important in academia at your university supporters, which would like to make actually postdoc life better and nurture their postdocs. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about, that even we have this very low percentage, there can be also actions taken by postdocs, and this is happening in US, and that's I'm really happy about to hear this, to see these changes from initiative of postdocs once more. This next topic, let's change. Next topic I'd like to talk about is I told you before during the last session, I think you can see it, I told you about BCF career event, and I told you during the, I think, last live number 5 about different companies. Here I have a kind of brochure about this program and so on, but also companies. And I mentioned the companies which are interesting companies for PhD students and postdocs outside of our academia, which are hiring PhDs. But I also wanted to share today another interesting place. And just let me a little bit clean this, because I don't have to really have a very big space to draw, although I like drawing. There is a new institute actually founded by Roche, And this is Institute of Human Biology. Why I'm talking about this particular institute, because I think it can be very great, especially when you look for taking your fundamental academic research to the next level. So translational and industrial level. And I think what Institute of Human Biology, which is located in Basel, but there are also, if you look at your vacancies, there are places in other Swiss cities, so Basel and Zurich, and also in other countries as potential, I think, collaboration between Roche and his partners. So something about this institute, I'm going to put you, I'm going to a little bit go back to this institute. So this institute mission is engineering of the most advanced human model systems, which are animal-free, for drug discovery, drug development, and precision medicine. And I'm going to now put this website for this institute here. So it's definitely animal-free research, interdisciplinary. And what I like also that this institute is dedicated to research in organoids. About organoids, I just told you about in my recent vlog about delicious game changers in regenerative medicine. So please go there to find out more about this. The organoids are one, I think, of the hottest models currently developed also by industry. And what I really like that is the Institute of Human Biology is not only dedicated to research in organoids, but also translational bioengineering. And even more importantly, Institute bridges the gap between academic and pharmaceutical research, bringing together three cores: exploratory research, bioengineering, and translation. And this is as a part also of pharma research and early development. This institute will work closely with scientists, so industrial scientists, but also academic scientists, to develop the translational models and technologies into assays for drug development. And this is headed by Matthias Luthoff. So take a look on it. I think this is a wonderful opportunity also for people which think, okay, I want to take the next step in transition, and also move and leave my safe zone, my country, and move to Switzerland. Because for the moment, this institute is actually located in Basel. So take a look on the website, and I think this is one of the most exciting game changers. So I think you will have great opportunity if you get job there and apply there to work on the hottest topics in rich medicine, and also performing and contributing to develop science, translational science. So that's something which I'd like to share, because I'm truly amazed, and I think with my next live sessions, I will, as soon as I hear or read about new institutes, new initiatives, I believe that there will be more such institutes offering this transition and bridging this gap between academia and industry in drug development, in drug discovery, in precision medicine. I'm going to talk about this and also share links with you. So that's about Roche. Then the next important thing, as soon as we talk about Roche and bridging the gap, I think it would be also maybe nice for you to know what is happening currently in Netherlands, because I'm based in Netherlands. Now I talked about University in Pennsylvania, Switzerland, Institute of Human Biology, but I also like to a little bit say what is happening So I had opportunity to meet, actually get short introduced to a Minister of Higher Education and officially Education Science D. He's professor. He's but that's what brings this academia to politics with much better impact if we think about possibilities, because he thinks not only as a politician, but first of all, he thinks as a scientist, and how he can contribute with his power and his team, with his function to develop better science. And first of all, I really like one of the initiatives developed by Robert and his team or his collaborators. This is National Expertise Center for Science and actually Public. In Dutch, this is actually National Expertise Centrum voor Wetenschap en Samenleving, news in short. I can put this here. Can I put it here? I will only have to remove it. Let me see. I only have to check if everything is recorded well. Yes. So it's news. So Nationale Expertise Centrum voor Wetenschap en Samenleving. And this is, unfortunately, all the messages here are in Dutch. But importantly, this center was brought to actually strengthen or shorten distance between communication from scientists to public. And 10 million actually euros has been invested, and this center has been created in terms of scientific communication. And I think this is something which is very important, because with this center, you can also think not only about other opportunities for postdocs to join maybe this center and work there, and create great communication and especially transparent communication channel between academia or science, scientific knowledge and public. We need to translate the impact of science to public in very attractive way. So we need also a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of plain language, also different way of communicating science to public, so that public understands that whatever we do as a scientist is very important for our future, for improving our lives or life of each of us. And I think that's something which we should also propagate and talk about and spread this news about this center, because this is really, really important. The next topic which I'd like to tackle about, it's the last topic, is also regarding action of Robert Dijkgraaf, which wants to set stricter rules, put budget for safety in higher education. And I already once informed you from a university newspaper, Leiden University, and that's the article in Dutch. This is quite old already article from March, but I'd like to recall it that around 18% of staff from Faculty of Humanities suffered harassment, or is it in terms of intimidation, verbal aggression, or sexual harassment. And importantly, I will also put you this link here. I talked about before in my live sessions about Harvard that there's even institution of police. There are conferences, international conferences, especially ICCR, which are taking care of any types of harassment which have to be also notified and consequences have to be taken. But also I was really happy, and I will put it also here. This is article, what is happening in Netherlands. And I'm really happy that even I talk about this already. Something is happening in meantime from initiative of Minister of Science Education, Robert Dijkgraaf, in Netherlands. So there's title of this article is Extra Millions for Safety in Higher Education. And I'd like to just maybe bring that there is special program to improve social safety at higher education institutions. 16 million euros has been actually, as announced the Minister of Science, Education and Culture, Robert Dijkgraaf. And this article actually I found from 14th of June, so that's very recent, but I really like what has been stated by Professor Robert Dijkgraaf. A researcher who leaves academia with a heavy heart because he doesn't feel safe. A student who doesn't dare to ask questions during a lecture because of the lecturer's behavior. Cases like this really distress me, writes Dijkgraaf in a letter to Parliament. So Robert also as a minister, but also the 66 member, which I'm also a member of this political party, education, the only education party in Netherlands, actually wrote a special letter to chamber, second chamber. And furthermore, he says that the hard work will be needed to improve safety from inappropriate or abusive behaviors in the country's universities and University of Applied Sciences. The problems that need to be tackled include power imbalance, competition, and sexism. And I think if you, what I also appreciate from Robert, that would make it easier to hold institutions accountable. So there has to be some legacy, and he's already introducing this legacy to really make sure that we can deal in honest and also transparent manner with sexual abuse. Report this to Inspectorate of Education. That's how this would look like, whenever a student or member of staff was suspected of abuse or harassment. So this is something which I really, really like, that this is happening, and that a minister acts on it. Even I talked about this few months ago. This is also happening. So that's something which I also would like, as a D66 member, work on further in collaboration with Ministry of Higher Education, and bring more opportunities also in the program for PhDs, also through legal work and policy. So that's something which I really found great, and the budget for research monitoring cultural change was already introduced, but there has to be, of course, more budget, because article talks about 16 millions planned and well distributed, so that this type of problem, I think it's very big problem, also very global problem. It's not just Dutch problem of Dutch university, but also problem of many other universities worldwide. And I think it's good that there are already serious steps taken care of by Robert. So that's something which I'd like to share today. And if you have any questions, I wonder if there are any questions from you guys. Please contact me. All the contact details you will find in About, in many bar About, and you can see my LinkedIn. You can connect. You can connect through Instagram or from my website. So I'm really curious about your questions, or can you also maybe please comment what type of in your country's problems exist, and maybe there are also some solutions which already have been implicated. So that's also good to see. following what has happened at the University of Pennsylvania. So please let me know. I'm really curious. And if you, for example, also don't know yet, okay, I'm at the crossroads between academia and industry. I think I want to go to industry, how to do it, how to progress from there, from academia. As I said, I'm also a licensed coach. I did PhD. I followed for postdocs in 3 different European countries, so I've been there, and I think I'm very competent in this case to help you to develop your personalized path and make successful transition or smooth transitions from academia to industry. So this coaching is paid, but this is, I think, pretty affordable. So if you think, okay, I want to start such coaching with Aneta, please let me know. Please contact me. I'm available, and I'm truly, as I said, on the mission. So I want to empower as many PhDs and postdocs globally. And of course, I think the last thing I like to ask you is please subscribe to my YouTube channel. This channel is also made for creating better opportunities for postdocs and PhDs. I talk about this. I share with you a lot of useful information. So I hope that to grow this channel also, please subscribe. This doesn't cost anything. So please subscribe to let this channel grow so I can prepare and share with you more high quality content regarding potential brighter options, right? Or career opportunities to create this brighter future for all you guys, PhDs and PhD students. So thanks for listening. I think we are running already quite 42. I think last session I talked like for 52 minutes, but these are all important things. There is a lot of important, as you could see, initiatives happening both in US, but also in Switzerland and in Netherlands, which I'm very happy about. So I'm also very happy to share it with you and update you about this. So I think from here, I like to give you a warm greetings. I know that summer is coming, but I think I will continue having live sessions through the summer and keep you really updated about everything which is happening, because there is, as I said, a lot of things happening in terms of new centers, new career opportunities, but also new legislation. So from here, again, warm greetings. Don't forget to subscribe and see you next time at next live. And if you have questions, just pop it under the chat so I can answer them for the next sessions. Take care and see you. Bye.